As a lot of you guys probably know, mirrors have been known for a very long time to just freak people out. We have games like Bloody Mary that children play, trying to summon a ghost in the bathroom mirror. There are movies where the character will turn around but the reflection will stay the same, which has led to the popular belief that mirrors are actually portals to alternate dimensions or the spirit realm. And a lot of the time, the stories that you hear about these ghostly mirror experiences are not positive. And that is where today's video comes into play. Today we will be discussing an urban legend out of the state of Louisiana in the United States that talks about a shack on a farm set up as a local Halloween attraction with the walls, floor, and ceiling made completely out of mirrors. And this shack of mirrors is said to drive whoever steps inside of it completely crazy. There are websites and news sites from Louisiana discussing this urban legend, and I always find it so interesting when a town or a state or a province has an urban legend or a spooky superstition attached to it. This particular legend goes that if you stand inside of this room of mirrors for too long by yourself, the devil is said to show up and steal your soul by skinning you alive, which, you know, is very pleasant. So this urban legend gained popularity once a writer named Joel Farrelly wrote a post about his experience going to this haunted attraction and seeing for himself whether the rumors were true, and this was his story. So Joel was contacted by a girl named Erin who invited him to the annual Halloween event in her small town in Louisiana. This attraction was called Farmer Graves' Haunted Orchard, and it sounds to me like any other small town Halloween extravaganza, something like a corn maze and hay rides and candy apples and all of that fun Halloween stuff. But the owners of this event had implemented a new haunt, which they called the Devil's Toybox, in order to hype up their event and draw more people in who wanted a spookier time. The Devil's Toybox was a shack painted red that housed complete wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling mirrors, so when you stepped inside, all you would see for miles was your own reflection staring back at you by the thousands. This event had opened up the previous year and was not met with positive reviews. A number of people had to be rushed to the hospital after spending even mere minutes inside of the toy box, with no one lasting longer than 5. One woman was said to have a heart attack after being inside for only 90 seconds, and the longest time, at 4 minutes and 37 seconds, ended up with the dude coming out and never speaking again. Another boy, who was 17, was so affected by the Devil's Toy Box that he committed suicide 2 weeks later. So the annual Halloween spectacular at Farmer Graves was shut down by the town, which only served to flood the rumors throughout the town. And that's one thing about small towns, which I can certainly attest to, having grown up in one, is that once something even remotely scandalous or scary happens within the town, you will hear 3 variations of it by the time you finish your morning coffee. So even though the town shut down the Halloween attraction, the owners of Farmer Graves' Haunted Orchard still kept the building up. The owners' names were Will and Darlene Sawyer, and they were not pleased about their Halloween event being shut down early. I'm sure that's how they make a lot of their money for the season, so definitely understand why they would be so upset about that. But one night, a group of high school students wandered onto the property where the Devil's Toy Box was sat, daring each other to get closer and closer to it. That's when Will Sawyer popped out of nowhere, where he didn't get mad at the kids for sneaking onto his property, but instead asked if they wanted to go inside. Erin, the one who had contacted the author, her boyfriend had gone inside the toy box and has not been seen since. No one took her seriously about her claim that the Devil's Toy Box had taken him, which is why she wanted the author to come out and investigate for himself to see if he could find any answers. So once Joel, the author, came down to Louisiana, he met up with Erin and they went onto the property. Will knew they were there and came over to them, where Erin asked about her missing boyfriend. And Will told her that he had been inside the box for nearly 3 minutes weeks ago and then ran out screaming, naked from the waist down, and ran into the woods. Will tried to entice the author and Aaron to go inside, and apparently Joel did. And I don't want to give away the rest of the story, but it is definitely one hell of a read. So if you are interested in checking it out, there is a link to the story in the description. I highly recommend you go and read it. But that sounds completely terrifying at this point, right? You'd think that if somebody had actually gone missing after going inside of this shack, and with the case kind of gaining popularity from Joel's experience, you'd think that the police would be investigating. But they are not, because the Devil's Toy Box is not real. The Devil's Toy Box was a story created by Joel Fairley in 2015, who's a writer for Thought Catalog. This story has turned out to be one of his most popular, with others adapting it into videos and podcasts, and it blew up way more than he ever thought it would. Because apparently at first, Joel didn't even like the story, he thought it kind of sucked. But his editor really liked it, and his editor has good taste because so did millions of others. And that's how the popularity of the story grew, with the author placing himself inside of the story as the main character, putting himself into these situations that honestly seem pretty believable, even though they turn out to be completely crazy. But in my opinion, there's a lot of honesty in his writing style, making the reader kind of think, hey, maybe this could be real. Even though the Devil's Toy Box is said to be set somewhere in northern Louisiana, it's not easy to find where it is, and that was purposeful on Joel's part, and that this story is a culmination of his love of going to those haunted house attractions with his friends back in high school. And it's really those life experiences that can inspire the best stories. But that is it for today's video, just very short and sweet. I thought this was a very interesting urban legend, and just goes to show how once you put something out on the internet that is just fictional, if it has enough elements that are believable, it's so crazy how the internet can just run with it and make you think that this might actually be real. So just wanted to share this story with you guys. And if you are new to my channel, please be sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you've not already. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.